So we kind of talked a little bit about what's going to be Bill 1, which is otherwise referred to as Quebec's new constitution, something that was tabled back in October. And I think the deadline is coming up on Monday, right? People get to go and talk about what they think about this. I don't know if it's just me, but every reaction I've seen to this has, for the most part, been negative, including from the Law Society here in Quebec, from columnists that I've read about this. And that's before we even know everything that's in it necessarily. So I wanted to get a bit of a breakdown here. Frederic Berard is a constitutional lawyer and partner at GBM Lawyers. He's also a law professor at the U of M, and he is on the line. Frederic, thank you for being here this afternoon. Let me begin by this. I'm trying to be, if I can, neutral on this. But in looking at some of what's in here, it's hard to be, isn't it?
Yes, just to say that I'm no longer part of a GBM. As I said last time, I have my own firm right now. So thanks for letting me make my own publicity. Well, I do agree with this. It's sort of it's pretty hard to say because when you decide to adopt the Constitution, it has to be, it has to have the objective of gathering people together,
right,
to define our own values, to say, this is who we are as Quebecers, as every and other nations have done in the past with the rights of minorities and all that. But this is not what this project is doing right now. I mean, it's certainly, as we say in French, a bébelle électorale, which means a kind of toy to make some political gains in 2026. And I'm very, very disappointed. I'm always disappointed with when the gouvernement Legault is adopting new bills in terms of constitutional matters. But this is the worst I've seen because, I mean, it has to be gathering people, as I said, and it does the opposite, to be frank.
So if you can, Frederic, just highlight a couple of things when you say it's pretty bad. What in here sticks out as one of the things that you look at and go, I can't believe they're really going to try to do this?
Yes, I can give you a few examples if you like.
Sure.
If you go take a look to Section 5, this is the worst section you can see in this project. Why is that? Because it says that each and every organisme public, so a public institution, does not have the right to challenge a bill in front of the court. I mean, what kind of regime does that? It's no democratic regime. It's other kind of regime, right? Because you cannot, in democracy, prevent institutions to challenge the constitutionality of laws. I mean, this is the basic of democracy. I mean, you have to follow the rule of law. But what if the rule of law is not respected? Then you need people to challenge it. So this is a very, very big problem. It applies to cégep, it applies to universities, it applies to municipalities, it applies to unions as well, maybe to some companies. So is this the kind of society we want to live in? We say, well, when the parliament is saying, well, I did, adopt that new bill, now it's time for you to shut up, you're going to live with it, even though it's unconstitutional. So that's the first section I would say that is a big problem, probably the biggest problem I've seen. But there's also other stuff. I mean, if you take a look to the abortion, Quebec is saying, well, we are protecting abortion. Well, that's pretty cool, guys. But the problem is it's not part of the Quebec competence to do that. This is a federal jurisdiction. Right. So why do you do that? Just to, send some message to people. Let's see how good we are. But I mean, this is another thing that is unconscionable. You can take a look to what they did to the First Nations. I mean, they did not consult them. They're almost nothing for First Nations in there. The Anglos, same thing. There's no right for Anglos. They're nothing. It's like they never exist, so to say. So, yeah, this is some of kind of the problems we're facing right now.
So one of the things, and I saw this mentioned in the article, is the elimination of the lieutenant governor, basically unilaterally changing the Canadian Constitution. It's almost, it seems to me, Frederic, like a way for the CAQ to say, you know what, we don't need to hold a referendum on separation. We'll just continue to add things like this in the Constitution, and we become just basically a separate entity within Canada.
It's like the CAQ is saying, well, it's too complicated to get Quebec out of Canada, so it's going to be easier to get Canada out of Quebec.
Yeah.
And this is what they're doing. You're totally right. And you know what? This is the kind of project I'm going to give to my students during the exams in the winter. I'm going to tell them, please tell me please just find 20 problems, 20 obvious problems. And they're first-year students in law, and they're gonna do pretty well, I'm sure.
I wonder too, because let's face it, the CAQ have a majority. I know that on Monday, we're going to have some quick hearings on this. Everyone, as I said off the top, who's already sort of weighed in, who's seen this, says no, bad idea. You're going to try to take it to court, and of course, one of the provisions in this Constitution is if you don't like something that's in here once this is passed, too bad. Unless, of course, you're super wealthy and could afford to mount a challenge, but otherwise, organizations, groups won't even be able to challenge any of these.
Well, the thing is, I have bad news for the Gouvernement Legault. Even though they're trying to prevent those challenge in court, they just can't do so. Section 96 of the Loi constitutionnelle 1876, so the Constitutional Bill of 1867, is pretty clear. You cannot prevent Superior Court to decide if a bill is constitutional or not. It's written black on white. So even though you don't like it, it's too bad for you. We're going to keep doing it. And this is why we are living in a democracy in Quebec, because it's based on the rule of law, either you like it or not.
I wonder, too, this idea of stifling dissent, and I think that's one of the words I saw, never mind even challenging something. It's kind of like if you have an opinion contrary to the government or something that's going to be in this Constitution, that in and of itself, they can fine you. They're trying to do this, obviously, with doctors under Bill 2. That's something that's pretty concerning, too.
Yeah, you're right. Mentioning Bill 2 is a very good example because they're doing precisely the same. And don't forget that in the project of Constitution, they're saying, well, this is the bills you cannot challenge. So the bill that protects Quebec autonomy. Okay, what the hell is that? The bill that try to integrate immigrants. Okay, what is that precisely? What is integration? This is pretty arbitrarian, right? You cannot attack a bill on laïcité and stuff like that, or on languages. We don't want to live in that kind of society. We do agree with, French language is the language of the majority in Quebec and all this. I think that we most agree on this. But what if there's a bill that is, clearly intentional because it's divisive or I don't know, infringing the right of security or equality or whatever? We just can't have the right to challenge that anymore. Is that the society we're living in? I don't think so. And I'm quite sure that the Superior Court of Quebec, they will see a challenge pretty soon about it, as soon as the bill is enacted. And then it's going to be quite a mess for the Gouvernement Legault. They're going to have to face history at one point, saying that you guys decided to enact it, that piece of paper that doesn't work the paper that it's written on.
Is there in your, from what you've seen, the timeline here? I mentioned Monday as, sort of if you will, a deadline of sorts. When do you imagine this, is going to be actually introduced and become law, or how far away are we from that happening? That's
a good question. I know that there's a lot of M&A in Quebec that wants to interfere with the adoption, but for that they need to have people who come over and, discuss their memoirs and all that. And they were a bit disappointed because there's not so many intervenants as of now. So it's hard to say, but I would probably say before Christmas. I think that they would like to do it before it. But if not, I don't know, somewhere pretty soon this winter, I guess.
That'd be quite the Christmas gift, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frederic, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.